What up, you guys? This is your Cosmic Homegirl, and I am giving you a forecast for the week beginning November 10th, 2019 until November 17th, 2019. So, what's the cosmic weather look like for all of us? What's the energy in the air? I'll get into that in a second. But before I do, remember that I do have November horoscopes available by sign on my website, which is indigomoon.astrology.com on the horoscopes page. So I'll leave links below for that. And also, I do have horoscopes for 2020. 2020 is approaching. It's creeping up on us. So if you want to know how it affects your sign, I would suggest that you go by your rising sign if you know it. But also your sun sign can be effective too, in knowing like what's going to be going on for you that year. And also the moon sign can show like your emotional and inner world and stuff, perspective of what's going on in 2020. So order those for your sign on my website on the horoscopes page as well. Links below are there. That the links for those are below. Lord have mercy. Mercury retrograde is killing me. It's in Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio. That's my rising sign. So I was like, oh my God, the sun is conjunct Mercury this week, and I'll be talking about that. So that's kind of making us like talk a little faster and not able to catch our thoughts properly in our words. But anyway, so what's popping this week, you guys? So first of all, what do we have going on? Well, I will tell you this. The sun and Mercury are together this week, very close. Mercury is retrograde, as we all know. So, of course, the proper precautions need to be taken for anything that Mercury rules, which is communication, traveling, short distances, meaning like, places you go day to day in your car, if you ride the bus or public transportation, if you walk, you use your pata mobile, okay? If you ride a bike, a skateboard, skates, whatever you do to get around. Mercury rules that. Mercury rules our mail, the emails, postal mail, all that stuff. So how we talk to people, even if you're texting, even if you send a DM, send an email, anything, all that stuff is ruled by Mercury. Also, our devices that we use, small devices like printers, fax machines, if people even still use those dang dinosaurs. Fax me, who says that anymore, right? But those are ruled by Mercury too. And also your microwave, your toaster, I mean, come on, like all the stuff you use is ruled by Mercury. So any little gadgets that you use too, and also your car, like how you operate your car, driving is Mercury. So since Mercury's retrograde, it's like right smack in the middle of being retrograde. You want to still slow down with usage and operation of all of those things. Okay, so even your mouth, okay, like talking, you want to slow down with the operation of that thing too, because you can say some things when Mercury's retrograde. And remember, when you talk and you say things, when Mercury is retro, it's moving backwards or giving the illusion it's moving backwards. So things could be boomeranged back to you, back towards you when Mercury's retrograde. So you really want to be careful of what you say, okay? Especially Scorpio ruling secrets. If you say some information that's supposed to be secret, that's supposed to be hidden, it could be boomerang back to you. Like it can backfire on you. Like people will not keep that damn secret. There's some stuff that can happen. Even more stuff will come out. Stuff will be revealed. Like Mercury in Scorpio normally keeps secrets and holds them. But when it's retrograde, stuff will not be hidden and held in for too long. All right. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, Mercury is still retrograde and it's very close to the sun. That's making a lot of people more talkative, chatty. Your mind is working much more quicker than usual, especially if you are born under the sign of Scorpio. With the sun, the rising, the moon, you could be going through this. But, okay, sorry. And yeah, you can get easily distracted with the sun conjunct Mercury too. I've got like text messages and calls coming in, and I'm like looking at that and looking at my paper. So it's just a big old hot mess. But anyway, what else is going on this week? Well, we have the moon in Taurus. So starting in date order, the moon shifts into Taurus on November 10th. And it will remain there for a couple days until the 13th, like the wee hours of the morning. On November 13th. So the moon goes into Taurus. on the 10th, and it is in a conjunction with Uranus. And my internet at home is super slow. It's like I can use it at home, use my hotspot at home, and it's like so slow and ridiculous. Or I can go to a public place and their Wi-Fi is like that, but then there's all this damn noise in the background. So you know what? Just take it or leave it, you guys. I mean, nobody's making you listen to me. All right, so whatever. But we have the moon going into Taurus on this day. I swear it does, but it's just, this is not cooperating with me. There we go. Okay. It goes into Taurus in the early evening if you're on the west coast of the US and A, where I'm at, or if you're in the eastern parts of the world, it's in the evening or into the next day of the 11th. The moon goes into Taurus. So what does this mean? Our moods are ruled by the moon. So we may have a more chill, relaxed mood. However, that's normally how moon in Taurus works, but Uranus is this buzzing with energy and electricity and so our moods are not going to be that calm at first when the moon shifts into Taurus. They could be a little bit erratic. It's like it can go back and forth between I want to be chill, but then I'm also like worrying about this and this is happening and that, and my mind is just not staying still. Like it's a back and forth with that while it's in the same area as Uranus. But moon and Uranus days are ones where we feel a little bit more like weird and eccentric and goofy, and also we can come up with some ideas that are just like crazy dope and out there when there's this conjunction happening. But yeah, the moon is in Taurus. That's happening on the 10th, and then we go into the 11th, and we go into the 11th, and the moon is still in Taurus on that day, and still hanging around Uranus in the early part of the day, but we have the sun conjunct Mercury retrograde, like exact on 11/11. Okay, 11/11. I can tell you guys a lot about that number. Quadruple ones. 11/11, 11:11 p.m. Like when you see 11/11 on the clock, or at least for me personally, what it's meant for me is like, oh, there we go. Now it changes. Lord have mercy. It has been it's a spiritual number. It like opens the portals and the gateways to the spirit realm, to people that have passed on, your loved ones that have passed on or whatever, communicating with you and letting you know that they're around and that they are helping you out, even if you're having a hard time and you see 11/11. I used to hate that when I'd see it online. 11/11, make a wish. Like, you know what? No, it's not about making a damn wish. It's about maybe communicating to your loved ones in spirit and your angels, your guides, whatever you believe in, at that moment, communicating something to them, and not just making it a wish like you're wishing upon a genie or something, like some gold coins are going to fly out of a lamp or something. It's not like that. It's like communication with them, because it opens a portal. Trust me, it does. I've told you guys a story before about how I have a loved one in spirit, who on their birthday, most of the time, they like to do things on my phone to say hello, and they changed the time back to 11/11 for a little bit, so I could hold on to that 11/11 moment much longer, on their birthday, as a sign of saying, hey, I'm here, I'm still around, thanks for remembering me on my birthday. Like, they changed the time on my phone, okay, at 11/11. It's just really dope, that number. So to me, it's communication with the spirit realm. So maybe there is some sort of portal that's open, more towards the spirit realm on 11/11. And we, in transit, the planets are in Scorpio are making a trine to Neptune, which Neptune is the ruler of the spirit realm. So we've got planets aspecting it, so it's opening that up for us. So it could be a day to where we are a little more spiritual, or just pay attention to the signs and the synchronicities and the symbols that come up on this day, because it could actually mean something. You could find meaning and a deeper meaning in things on this day. But anyhow, the sun and Mercury is retrograde in a conjunction with the sun exactly on this day. So once again, it's like things can go a little bit more awry when it comes to Mercury matters of communication, devices traveling around. So try to slow down and not just jump at things or be too quick to say stuff without thinking things through. You know what I'm saying? That's something that can happen on this day. In some ancient astrology, they say that the sun burns other planets to where they don't work as well. It overshadows them. And it's like it's not a great energy, you know. So I guess the worst I can think that can happen is just not communicating well enough because you're communicating too fast on this day, November 11th. So I think it's like it's probably like in the day sometime, you know, that Mercury is retrograde at the same degree as the sun, which is like 19 degrees, you know. But yeah, so that's on November 11th, and the moon is still hanging out in Taurus. The mood becomes more smoother, more towards the end of the day. Early in the day, it's in a conjunction with Uranus still. It's like, it could be a little erratic, you know, so just be mindful of that. But once we get to later in the day of the 11th, it's like more of a chill mood and chill attitude. You may want to kick it and just have some good food, have some chocolate, you know, have some good wine, snuggle up in a comfy blanket. You may not want to be bothered by anybody on this day and just chill at home and do your own thing, just relaxing, because Taurus energy is all about that. All about what appeals to your five senses. You know, light a candle and just kick it in your own zone, in your own lane. Or if you have a boo, you want to snuggle up with them on that day, you know. So anyway, that's the 11th. Now then we get to the 12th. We get to the 12th, and this is when we have a full moon in Scorpio. I'm sorry, a full moon in Taurus, but it involves Scorpio too. So full moons, as you guys know, if you follow me, I tell you all the time, they involve the sun and the moon. The sun and moon oppose each other. They're in opposite signs of the zodiac, but they're at the same degree, so they are like angling each other. And that's why we can see the full moon in the sky, like it's the sun's light reflecting off of the moon, like fully. So it's going to be I think it's going to be early, because I know it's at 19 degrees of Taurus and Scorpio. So it's probably like super early in the morning then. But anyway, yeah, so we have a full moon that day. Sun and moon, Taurus and Scorpio. So just in general, if you want to know how this affects you by your sign this month, of course, order a monthly horoscope for your sign off of my website. But just in general, the Taurus-Scorpio axis has to do with money. So there could be like a big financial decision that we're making. But also, Taurus and Scorpio, that axis deals a lot with like self-worth and giving yourself away, and a lot of things involving that. Receiving help from others versus being self-sufficient. Being someone who's very present in the physical realm versus being very soul and spiritually connected, which is Scorpio. You know, Taurus is very physical. Scorpio is very physical too, but soulful as well. So there's something involving that could be coming to a final decision or something like that with everybody. So it could be about like valuing yourself too. Taurus energy could be very self-indulgent because once again it deals with the physical body, what is satisfying to the physical body, to the five senses. Do you like clothing that feels a certain way? Do you like certain perfume or smells? Do you like certain tastes and things? Like that's all Taurus stuff, and Taurus energy makes you want to just indulge in those things yourself, you know, and only share them with yourself. And then Scorpio energy is about sharing with others, sharing yourself with others very deeply and very intimately, and opening yourself up to others. And it could be very scary to do so, you know, versus keeping yourself to yourself. Like this axis can deal with that. And also valuing yourself too. Valuing yourself, guarding yourself. It's all like to do with this axis. So there's something with this full moon, generally speaking, that can affect us as a collective in those regards. But we also have to look at what other planets these ones are aspecting. So the moon in Taurus is making an aspect to Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. So these planets are hardcore. They're like mobsters when they work together. They will destroy your life, but then help you to rebuild it. You know, they're kind of undercover, like they work undercover. They tell you no a lot. They take things away, but they also give you, but not without you having to do something like work really hard or sacrifice. That's how these two planets operate, especially in Capricorn, which is a sign of like the boss, you know, the big dogs are Capricorn. So these planets are aspecting the moon. So there's something that we feel like comfortable in. These also the Taurus Scorpio axis deals with our security, our personal security, how secure we are with people or with our personal material things. So there's something to do with security with this. And Saturn and Pluto, like I said, they can take away and they can cause fear of loss. And they can cause losses too, to some degree. So there's something to do with that is incorporated into this full moon. Could be fear of loss. It could be, like something to do with material gains, how secure you are with things. There's something with that. But also, the sun part of it is making a great aspect to Neptune, which is very spiritual. And it does deal with losses too. Neptune could be like very floaty and hippie and fairy. Like, I don't really care about what I possess in life as long as I am floating happily in my existence. Like, that's kind of what Neptune can act like. So there's something with balancing that out, like the spiritual versus the physical. There's like a little, you know, I wouldn't say it's like a war. The only war is the opposition between the sun and the moon here, but like the other planets are actually supporting the sun and the moon, you know. So there's good aspects, which is good. This is not going to be as crazy of a full moon as a lot of them can be. This is going to be like figuring some things out, finding a balance, making a decision. So I could deal with any of that stuff. So once again, if you want to know how it affects your sign, go to my website and order a monthly horoscope, because I do cover this full moon and also the new moon in Sag later this month for your sign, and all the other stuff this month. So anyway, that's on the 12th. And then we have on the 13th, the moon moves into Gemini. But also we have Mercury trine Neptune. So Mercury made a trine aspect to Neptune, I think in I want to say late October. Yeah, in late October, Mercury was making a trine aspect to Neptune. And this can bring about some really good things, like more of our spiritual side and more of a belief in things. You know, and it's creative, it's dreamy, romantic, magical. It's like, it's all of that. It opens doors and gateways to things, especially things that are spiritual, and communication with others in spirit, you know, who are not here in the physical world anymore. Because Scorpio deals with death, okay, just period, point blank, just being keeping it 100. And then Neptune rules with the spirit world. So if you want to do something that communicates with other people on the other side, you know, this could be a week where some stuff like that can happen. Or you just have messages in your dreams, because Neptune rules your dreams when you're sleeping. And your daydreams too. If you have messages that come to you, they will probably really mean something and not just be a bunch of nonsense. So Mercury trine Neptune, it's beautiful. It's a positive aspect. It brings positive things. But hey, this is still Neptune, who could be the deceiver, the trickster and stuff sometimes, and make you see things and they're really just in your head when you think it's reality. It's something that you created and manifested in your head, which, hey, this is a creative aspect. So if you're an artist of any kind, your art can be on point with this aspect. But this is Mercury retrograde, and then Neptune, which can act like a fog machine. So just be careful how you're seeing people, how you're receiving people on this day, you know, because they can some people use this energy for bad, and they lie, they deceive, they weave a web of lies and deception, and they put on a false mask, as we say a lot too. And you may believe in that, and you may see them as like, oh, this sparkly being, and really they're a freaking lying asshole. You know what I'm saying? So like, you need to be really careful when Mercury is even trine Neptune. Okay. And it just makes me think of that Ariana Grande song in my head. It's on like her latest album in my head. Go listen to that, especially on that day, Mercury trine Neptune. It's kind of like you see somebody, what does she say? I saw your potential without seeing credentials, and maybe that's the issue. I can't hold it against you if I did it to myself because I thought you were somebody else. Like, oh my God, I know that song by heart because listen, as a Pisces moon, oh my God, I have fallen victim to that a bunch of times. Seeing somebody as like, oh my gosh, they're so like freaking dope and awesome and they're such a good person, but really Neptune was like playing some tricks on a ninja. You know what I'm saying? Because this person was just not as great as I thought they were. I ignored red flags. I saw potential in them instead of seeing who they really were. And you fall for their potential instead. Neptune can make that happen. So, hey, just be careful with dating and meeting new people this week. All right. That's all I got to say about that. But yeah, the moon moves into Gemini on the 13th and it'll be there until the 15th, causing more chatty mercurial energy and just minds being like moving 5,000 miles a minute. Okay. And people not really caring for deep conversations as much. They just want the small talk, the how's the weather? Did you hear about this? Did you hear this gossip? Hear about this drama? And you got to just type and in like not big old paragraphs, but you got to send like 1 or 2 words and then 2 more words and then a little sentence, and then like that's how Gemini energy communicates. So if you want to tap into all the Scorpio stuff and be like super deep with these long old books and paragraphs, people they're not going to have the patience for that when the moon's in Gemini. No ma'am. They're going to want to read things choppy, you know what I'm saying, like little bits and pieces. So just keep that in mind too with communication. But Moon and Gemini days I really like because everything's a joke, everything is funny, and it's lighthearted, and it's a good lighthearted change from all the deep Scorpio stuff. I dig the Scorpio, I dig the deep, trust me. But you know, sometimes we need a break from that. We don't want to always like be thinking so deeply into stuff, you know. So Gemini energy is very court jester. It brings like the haha, like, you know, the silly, the goofy, the fun, the funny. A lot of memes flying around and shared when the moon's in Gemini. So the moon will be in Gemini for a couple days, right? Now, the 14th is another day to kind of beware of like trickster energy and people just not being like, you not seeing people as who they really truly are. We still have Mercury trine Neptune on that day, and then we'll also have, once this actually moves and changes, okay, there we go, the moon will be square Neptune, okay, and that's trickster energy, and then the moon will also be square Jupiter, or opposing Jupiter later on that day. That's idealism. The moon will be opposing Venus. That's kind of like between the head and the heart, not being able to make a decision of what's right, you know. And then Venus is in an exact square to Neptune on that day. Venus can deal with love and relationships with other people, and then Neptune once again is like, it's a fog machine. It's like fantasy, delusion, illusions, you know. So on the 14th, I'm going to say this: be careful with your dealings with others, especially if you're first meeting them and getting to know them, because they could be some lying you know what I mean? Like, some people tap into this energy and they do beautiful things with it. They create beautiful stuff. But then some people, they create these crazy scenarios that aren't even real, or parts of their personality. They're just like faking the funk, like they say. They're just trying to get you and trick you into liking them, and really they're not even being who they really truly are. They're wearing a false mask. They are I don't know, just like yeah, you know what I'm saying, I'm this and I'm that, and I know this person and I got this and that, and like people just act stupid, like hella stupid when there's this energy in the air. Like, this is called a T-square. If there's an opposition or a square or both popping off at once between the mutable signs. Look, no disrespect to mutable signs. Hey, my moon is an immutable sign, okay? So I get it. But there's a dark side to the mutables that are just, look, all the serial killers, the famous ones, they're all mutable, okay? Just, they are tricksters, liars, swindlers. They just, like, I don't know why all that stuff comes out when we have negative mutable aspects. And even good aspects to Neptune, which is popping off too. So protect yourself, okay? Watch out for swindlers, tricksters, liars, deceivers, and also protect your personal belongings, because Venus is involved, and Venus does deal with your personal belongings, and also your information, because Mercury is involved, which deals with your information. People may try to steal your credit card information or your actual credit cards or debit cards. They may try to, the thievery may be real on this day, in one way or another. So just be careful. Just be mindful of that. Watch your back, hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your dog, hide your cat, hide yourself, hide your life from all the shady people on the 14th of November. Okay. Now, on the 15th, the moon moves into Cancer. So the moon moves into the sign of Cancer on the 15th. And it'll be there until the 17th. So, the weekend, that's the weekend, right? Yeah. So the weekend is going to be, still have this Neptunian energy that's very activated. So be careful of meeting people over the weekend and them lying and, all that stuff. And also being too indulgent in like escapism and stuff like that. But the moon in Cancer is those days people are extra sensitive and can take things very personally. Even if stuff isn't about you, you're going to think it's about you. Like, was that a subliminal? Oh my God. Was that post about me? And like, no, it was nothing. I've had Cancers message me and be like, was that post about me? And I'm like, I wasn't even thinking about you when I posted that. It was just a general thing of me clowning something. Oh my God. But yeah, people take things mad personal when the moon's in Cancer. People want to be closer to their families, closer to maternal figures, feminine energy that's important in their life. People want to be at home, cozy and cuddled up. So maybe this might be a weekend where you may feel like doing the turn up thing or whatever because of the mutable party energy in the sky, with some of the planets and the aspects to Neptune, which says, woohoo, let's get the heck up out of the house and away from our problems and our jobs and duties and everything. But moon in Cancer, the moon is our moods. Cancer is ruled by the moon. So it's at home, floating, just floating along, just wanting to be in its own zone, in its little shell, comfy, personal life, not really dealing with strangers. So in regular people terms, moon in Cancer days are ones where we want to just be comfy, cozy, at home, eating comfort foods, watching TV, not being bothered, not answering our phones or texts and pretending like our phone doesn't even exist. Oh my God, Cancers, you guys kill me with that. But ignoring everybody and just being in your zone, man. I'm telling you, oh my God, this thing moves so slow. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, that's the moon in Cancer, the 15th through the 17th. And then on the 17th, the moon moves into Leo, where it'll remain until the 19th. So we end this week that I'm covering with the moon in Leo. Bossy, sassy Leo. I demand. Do you know who I am? I'm the queen. I'm the king. That sign. Okay. Everybody hates me. I have so many haters while I've got my sunglasses on, even in the daytime, even inside. Okay, that sign. My hair is luxurious. Don't act like it ain't. Cat Williams. Even though Cat Williams is a Virgo, I think he has some planets in Leo, though. To have that hair, he's got to have some Leo. Don't act like my shit ain't luxurious. Yes, him. Leo. Moon in Leo. That's the vibe on the 17th. It's going to switch into that vibe. If this freaking computer, oh my God, I can't stand this crap. But anyway, so moon in Leo, we come out of our shells, our Cancer-y moon shells, and we want to show off, take more selfies, be feeling ourselves that day, dress up, wear some gold, something shiny, something that attracts attention. We'll want to, just prance around, pretending like there's an invisible red carpet. You know what I'm saying? And pretend like we have haters even if we don't. And try to shine and stunt on them, on the invisible haters. Yes, that's Moon and Leo days. So that's what we end the week with. All the other aspects still apply. The only last thing I'm going to talk about is Mars is finishing up its run through Libra. And it is by degree, not by sign. Libra and Taurus do not oppose each other on the zodiac wheel, but by degree, just being an extra nerd here. I use 8 degrees of separation between the planets to count them as making an aspect to each other. So 28 degrees of Libra and 3 degrees of Taurus, they do technically oppose each other. So we have a Mars and Uranus opposition building very strong towards the end of the week. And I'll talk more about it next week, starting with the 17th. But just be careful with anything involving Mars, which is movement, action, physical movement, working out, walking, anything to where you apply a lot of physical energy and drive. Be careful because Uranus brings sudden, unexpected things, and Mars and Uranus oppositions can bring injuries, can bring accidents, stuff like that. So really be mindful of that and be careful. And then with planets making aspects to Neptune this week also, at the same time we have that going on, people won't really be paying attention. So it can cause crazy stuff like that, injuries and accidents and stuff. So just be mindful. I'm not saying we have to be all paranoid up the ass this week, but just really watch your movements, your actions, and the actions of others. Try to be a little bit more aware than usual. We could be prone to dreamy, just daydreaming and not even focused, not paying attention with stuff hitting Neptune. But you really need to try to snap out of it this week. Snap yourself out of it. Keep this advice in the back of your mind because you don't want any craziness to happen with this either. Okay. Yes, here we go. Finally, slow computer. Okay, so the moon is in Leo starting in the afternoon on the west coast of the US, and then throughout the rest of the day until the 7th or the 19th will be in sassy, bossy Leo moods. Okay. The Leos will be Leoing extra hard, just fair warning. All right. But anyway, that's it, you guys. I can ramble on forever because the sun is with Mercury right now in my rising sign. So I'm just like, da, 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 da. If you guys have noticed, I've been a little more active on social media. I've been working in places to where I have Wi-Fi and I'm just firing off a bunch of stuff. My mind is just going crazy. But if you haven't followed me yet on Instagram, follow me on there because I do post some horoscope stuff on there and some other fun astrology stuff in my Instagram stories, jokes, memes, and all of that. Songs, everything. So follow me on there. That's where I'm the most active at this time. And don't forget to peep your monthly horoscope for your sign or your yearly 2020 horoscope for your sign as well. The links are below for where you can find those. And yeah, I will see you guys next week. All right. Have a good week. Peace.